Okay, so this in front of you is the housing for the right rear tail light of the Mercedes. Uh, each bulb has a hot wire, but no grounding or anything else. These metal plates act as the ground, so it sits in there, it grounds it back to this brown wire at the top left of this pin. So the previous owner had some issues with with electrical problems. I suspect I know what's going on, and I'll explain in a minute. But he cut the wire, the hot wire for this, and soldered them together and put it to one wire, which I think gave the Mercedes some problems. So I cut those again, resoldered them all together, put them all back together. You can see a little bit of tape here that I used to just cover it up because the sheath came off. But they all tested good, and I was just going to show you now. So I'll put my ground wire on. I only have 6 volts here, so it's going to be kind of dim, but I can test each bulb. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you probably can't see it, but 5 is about the bottom corner there. But what I suspect happened to the owner, because this is the grounding plate, some of these plastic clips that hold this on are broken, and these bulbs are really finicky because like you just twist it a little bit and it comes out. So it very well could be the contact was loose, this plate was loose. There's so many things that can come jostled loose with this design because it's just the one wire and this metal plate. But it's working now, so we're gonna put it back on the Mercedes, and hopefully, going forward it works. If not, at least we know we can rule this out as being the issue. After I tested the light, as you see in the preceding part of the video, every bulb worked, all the terminals on the housing worked. When I put it back in the car and hooked it up to the 6 posts that are in there, turned the lights on, still only one of the bulbs worked. So it's got to be something related to the body harness. It must be shorting somewhere. So I jumped from terminal to terminal on the housing, just a little piece of wire, and it works. All the bulbs work again. So I'm thinking I will just cut or tape up one of the posts, jump from the other light that does work, and go from there. Okay, it's been about a month since I last recorded, and we've done quite a bit with the car. Did we tighten down these battery posts since we put that in? Okay, we'll have to do that before we go. We left this sit for about the last 2 weeks, and we had a parasitic draw issue. We narrowed it down to these 2 fuses. They're both drawing over 250 milliamps. Unfortunately, my good meter broke, so I know it's more than that, but not how much more. So we popped those. That was all good. We changed the fuel filter and the primary fuel filter. This is the secondary fuel filter. We didn't put any fuel in it, so then we went to start it, and then it was nice and dry. So after a while, we got it bled, and then Ryan over here got soaked. We fixed this leaky thing, and Ryan put some putty type stuff in there that's water safe, so it holds great now. Now we just have to figure out what exactly was all on the fuses we took out. We completely redid all the vacuum. We must have pulled about 4 feet out of redundant vacuum hose out of here. Put some clean stuff. You got this nice new stuff, rubber, plastic, and really that's a lot of stuff that we got done. Our next goal is to try and adjust the idle. The idle speed's a little bit low, and we were looking at this guy here to try and change the length of this to get the idle speed we want, but it's seized. So we put some WD-40 on there. We're gonna put some PB Blaster next time I come down, but no, we made a lot of progress so far. So hopefully, now that we pulled those fuses, this thing can sit here for a while, and that battery works nice and good. I mean, it starts up every time now, so we got some good stuff. We got a catch can to put off of here, but the catch can was not baffled, it appears, so it was basically worthless. But we've hooked up the catch can, and it was still blowing out the other side, so the crankcase pressure is just so high that it just is not going to work with a catch can, basically. Even with one with a baffle, I wouldn't think. We disconnected the vacuum line to the EGR, as well as the vacuum lines that go to the body, because we don't need it. I'm fine with manual locks, and the EGR is basically worthless, off-road use only. So yeah, we made a lot of progress with this. Trying to think what else. Ryan put in the rear the new brake hardware, just because I'm not really familiar with it at all. I know how the brakes work, but not these weird Brembo style brakes. Here's the catch cam we got, non-baffled like I said. And over here we noticed there's a leak now. Not really sure where it's coming from, because the weather seals all seem okay, but we'll figure it out eventually. That's maybe next week or the week after we'll come back down. But yeah, we got a lot of good stuff done. Really not spending a whole lot of money on it, which is great. It's all mostly stuff that's pretty simple. Just needs adjustments, needs hardware, whatever. So we'll get this idle adjusted, and I think it'll run pretty good at that point. We did it manually, got it up to like 700 RPMs, which is a little high, but it's a 5-cylinder diesel. So I'd expect the diesel to be lower because it's a 5-cylinder, needs to be a little higher. So I don't know, it runs real great when we get it like 600-700. It's like maybe 450 now, which is a little bit low. So whatever, but good couple of weeks so far, gotten a lot done.